Richter scale. The first one at 5:25 measured 4.8. A second one, 4.5, that occurred at 5:30. Another one at 5:41, and this one has been the strongest aftershock to date. That's 5.2 on the Richter scale, and of course the one that you may have felt just a short while ago at 8:24, I guess it's been a while longer since then, it's 4.0 on the Richter scale. So I just wanted to give you an update of the measurements here. They continue to refine these figures, and so that's why they are a little different than they were early on. But the work continues. The seismology crews are busy tonight.
Okay, Willie, thank you very much for that report.
Aftershocks will continue, and usually there can be a very strong one that can come anytime as well.
Lisa Stark is standing by live on the San Mateo Bridge, where apparently it has just been reopened. Lisa?
Cheryl, we're at the west end of the San Mateo Bridge, and as you can see, traffic is now moving in both directions. The bridge was reopened about 8:35 this evening. It was closed just after the earthquake. Apparently there was no structural damage, but they did close the bridge as a precaution. They must have checked the bridge by now, and at 8:35 the word went out to reopen the bridge, and traffic was instant. The bridge filled up as soon as it was reopened. Traffic on Highway 101 southbound in this area has been very, very heavy as people were trying to head down to the Dumbarton Bridge and down to the South Bay. This may relieve that somewhat. We're not sure yet. Apparently, some of the people driving by right now are actually people who were at the Giants game, because they're yelling, "Go Giants," as they drive by. So you can see people are taking a long time to get anywhere tonight. The roads are very clogged. Here in the Foster City area, power is still completely out. It is pitch black. No lights anywhere. We can also tell you that we checked the Fashion Island shopping center. We had heard reports of extensive damage there. We did not see any. There apparently has been some water damage, but we can tell you we looked in some of the stores and things still appear to be on the shelves, so it appears that at least part of that shopping mall escaped unscathed. Although the Amtrak Hotel in this area in Burlingame suffered major structural damage. A water tank fell off the roof, taking with it an elevator shaft. The whole front of the hotel is basically in shreds. That hotel has been evacuated miraculously. There were no major injuries at that hotel. The California Baptist Convention was meeting there, 500 people. They all got out okay. But here on the San Mateo Bridge, traffic moving again. Very good news, because of course the Bay Bridge is completely shut down, and until this was reopened, the only way to get across the bay was the Dumbarton Bridge. Now you can head again toward the San Mateo Bridge, and also I can tell you that the ramps from Highway 101 to 92, which were shut down, are also now reopened. They were worried about damage there. Apparently that concern has also been taken care of. So again, the San Mateo Bridge open, another way to get across the bay on this night of the earthquake.
Yes, and also, of course, the Golden Gate Bridge is open too. Lisa Stark, thank you. Why don't we take a look right now so you can get some idea of exactly what roads are open and what are closed, which ones are closed. If we could take a look, we do have a map that will show you which roads are open.
We're hoping to get those maps.
All right. If we have a couple of other things, then we'll get to that in just a moment. Vice President Dan Quayle says that he will tour the Bay Area tomorrow along with his wife. You know, he was here visiting, and he will take a look at the damage from today's earthquake.
Certainly getting around the Bay Area is a major issue tonight. What do you do about your kids going to school? What do you do about getting to work, crossing the various bridges that you have to? Lisa explained to you that the San Mateo Bridge is open tonight. The Dumbarton Bridge is open. The Golden Gate Bridge is open. Bay Bridge shut down. Pac Bell is telling us tonight about phone lines. You've probably been having trouble getting through to your loved ones to find out if they're okay or to get information. They're asking you to please be patient. They're operating on battery power, as are we. As is most of the city of San Francisco and portions of the Bay Area. They're just not sure how long that is going to last. They've never come up against this before. They're going to have a big meeting very soon to develop some kind of contingency plan. And they do have structural damage to their buildings. It is not interrupting service, but the circuits are so overloaded, you're just going to have to be patient. Now, concerning schools, we have word that schools will be closed in many areas tomorrow. So what you'll have to do, if you can get a phone line out, then you should call your school before you take your children there and drop them off.
And that's one right there, Berkeley.
Okay, Berkeley School District telling us tonight that it is closed tomorrow, that there are definitely no classes there.
Yes. Governor Deukmejian has requested the help of 3 rescue helicopters and 8 rescue C-130s out of Moffett Airfield to help in this effort, so he's requested that. Do we have a look at those roads at this point? Can we see which ones are open? Because obviously, no matter where you go, traffic is going to be stopped, and it is a difficult situation to try to get from any point to another. I guess Well, I can tell you that both directions of 880 are closed. You saw Leslie a little bit earlier with that report. Here we go. Southbound, South Bay, Highway 101 at 3rd in San Mateo is closed, as is Highway 101 at University in Palo Alto. And there are more. 280 at Mora, that's in San Mateo. 280 at Highway 85. Highway 280 at Magdalena. These are roads which are closed. Also, southbound 17 at Highway 9. Southbound Highway 9 also closed at this hour. Highway 17 in the Saratoga-Scotts Valley area. Northbound 17 at Granite Creek is closed in the South Bay. Highway 17, the Park Street overcrossing. There has been some damage there to the support structure, so that is closed as well.
And there we go.
Okay, those are the ones that are closed at this point. And right now, we're going to hear from Marty Gonzalez. Marty is...
Marty, where are you located?
Jack London Square in Oakland. Jack London Square in Oakland. This was the site of a A's rally earlier today. There's a big screen TV set up here. Now it's the site where people are coming off ferry boats from San Francisco. It's really the only way that they are getting from San Francisco to their homes here in the East Bay. They have been arriving for about the past half hour, 45 minutes. A boat just dropped off about 50 or so people, and they've been coming in steadily every 10 minutes or so. And really, it is the only way that people are getting home tonight from San Francisco if they live in the East Bay. What happens here is now they get off the boats. AC Transit is setting up some buses at the other end of the street. They're hopping on the buses and trying to get home tonight. Over here, we have some people waiting in line to use the telephone to be able to tell their loved ones that everything is okay and that they're going to be home safe. They're going to be home very late, but they'll be home safe tonight. Let's show you some pictures of what it looked like earlier today in Oakland. We have quite a bit of damage in the downtown area, mostly some rubble from older buildings and also from some new buildings as well. So some of the damage that you see throughout the city, downtown Oakland. For the most part, we have not heard of any widespread cases of injuries nor of any fatalities, but that is all very unofficial at this point. The Emporium Capwell building, which is one of the older buildings in downtown Oakland, had all of its windows on the ground floor shaken out. There's extensive damage there. You're looking at the I think it's the AT&T building, also in downtown. It is one of the newer buildings, so this earthquake did not show any favorites. Old buildings and new buildings alike were damaged throughout the downtown area. As driving through the East Bay, we were in Berkeley and in Oakland for the most part, and it was a strange sight. Whole entire blocks would be out. They would be completely dark. The signal lights were not working. There would be police officers out there, citizens out there trying to direct traffic using flares. Yet one block over, there would be lights on, and you couldn't tell that there was ever any problem. So it's a very eerie situation. And as we look down the street here on Broadway, if we can take our live picture back, we look down the street here on Broadway, you see the AC Transit buses waiting to pick people up, but down the street further on is completely black. There are about 5 or 6 blocks, the stretch of Broadway, which is the main drag here in Oakland, where the lights are completely out, and then you can see the lights farther down where power has been restored. As far as transportation goes, you've heard before that BART is out. We have stopped at some BART stations where people were stranded, and they were waiting for a bus to take them home. We talked to some people at a BART station. They did not know when the trains would be running again, other than to say it was going to be several hours before they checked that out. For the most part, again, we can tell you, please stay off the street. Downtown here, there are a lot of people, a lot of sightseers, and basically they're just getting in the way. So if there's any words of wisdom that we can tell you, it's please stay off the street. Let us bring you the pictures, and just stay out of the way, because downtown is a mess, and it's mainly because of people who are just out sightseeing. Back to you.
We don't need that. Okay, Marty Gonzalez, thank you in the East Bay. Paul Jeske joins us now. Paul, you've been out on the streets of San Francisco tonight, south of Market. Difficult to get around because traffic lights are out, street lights are out.
It's terrible getting around, Don. As a matter of fact, the devastation is really incredible south of Market. There are bricks down onto the streets, onto the sidewalks, but perhaps the worst devastation, the worst thing that we saw south of Market tonight was the facade of a building that collapsed on 6th Street. People who travel the 280 freeway in San Francisco probably have a pretty good idea of where this is. This is the 6th Street on-ramp to Highway 280. Now, bricks fell down on the top 2 floors of this building and crushed people who were getting into their cars. You can see these cars that were squashed almost flat. These unfortunate people were just leaving work. They were getting into their cars. The quake hit, the bricks came down, and They really didn't have a chance. Patrolman Keith Singer, who was on the scene, says that they never had a chance. He was there as the workers were working, trying to dig these people out, trying to help them, but they really feel that the rescue people got there just too
when
late.
the earthquake hit, the top 2 floors of the building, the wall gave way and trapped some people in their cars down below that were preparing to leave for home.
What kind of emergency response did you have here? How'd you get at them?
Within about 2 minutes, we had 2 fire crews, about 3 police units, and we had a PG&E crew working with a backhoe around the corner. We got them. They brought their backhoe over and assisted in digging out the vehicles.
The best estimate at this moment is that 4 people are dead. We don't know exactly what offices occupied that building. There were a number of them. Officials say that people were constantly in and out of there. But again, they believe that 4 people died in the collapse of that building. They're asking people to stay out of that area right now. There are obviously other buildings in the area that also have been weakened, so there is always the possibility of people just walking down the street being hit by debris. Do not go to that area.
That is part of the problem that they talk about with the facades of buildings, depending on their age, and that's why you can't have overhangs and that sort of thing. Do you have any idea the age of that building or how well it might have been constructed?
You really can't tell. It does look as if it had some reinforcing, that someone had tried to bring it up to an earthquake code, but it was only the top 2 floors that collapsed. The rest of the building seemed to stay intact. It was not people inside the building who were hurt, mind you.
Right.
You could see the office furniture. You could see plants that were right next to the edge of the building where the wall collapsed, but it was people down below on the street who were killed.
Yes, devastation there, and of course in the East Bay as well. Paul, thank you very much. The East Bay is that terrible, those pictures that we've shown you earlier of Freeway 880 as it collapsed. We'll go back to Leslie Brinkley live there now. Leslie?
Yes, we're standing here right now where there is a disaster scene unfolding before us. Off to the side here, you can see a column. It's a column of the freeway that actually collapsed here at 880. It gave way. There is a section here from 18th Street all the way up to 32nd Street. This section of the Nimitz, the upper freeway ramp collapsed onto the lower freeway ramp and sandwiched all the rush hour commuters, all the traffic in between. It's unbelievable, 14 city blocks of it. We had some of the rescue workers here describing things they saw in climbing up there and trying to rescue people. One of the descriptions was that they were walking wounded on top. They were taken away, that there was an 8-passenger van that they saw sandwiched to only about 2 or 3 feet high. They are pulling bodies out from underneath this lower ramp. There were just some injuries on the upper ramp, but those on the lower ramp, there are a lot of fatalities. We know there are at least 40 fatalities right now, and there may even be, one rescue worker says he thinks it's going to take several days before they can get in the heavy equipment to lift these 2 freeways apart, and that there may be as many as hundreds dead. We don't know right now. We do know that there are an incredible number of crews out here working on it, trying to get the rescue work going. We are also told that just behind us here, as you see that man coming down the ladder, they are trying to rescue a little boy and a little girl. Their parents in the front seat of the car were killed. A column crashed down in the middle of the car. The 2 little kids were in the back seat. The girl, 9, has already been taken out of the